Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna devotees. Hare Krishna. Harbal. If you guys want to sit over here, we have a class going on. We're going to do a little prayer called Jai Radha Madhava. If you guys either want to search up on your phones, if you guys know, you guys can repeat after me. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Yashodanandana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Jaya Yashodanandana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Jaya Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda, Shri Radhe. Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman, Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jai. Hare Krishna devotees. Thank you so much for attending. This is the Bhagavad Gita class. You guys get to learn something about the Bhagavad Gita today. Today we're talking from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 5, verse number 19. Okay. This is Sanskrit. I'll read it in a particular tune, and after each line, if you guys want to repeat after, if you guys are feeling confident. Ihaiva terjita sargo yesham samye stitham manaha nirdosham hi samam brahma tasmad brahmanite sthitaha ihaiva terjita sargo yesham samye stitham manaha nirdosham hi samam brahma tasmad brahmani te sthitaha ihaiva terjita sargo yesham samye stitham manaha nirdosham hi samam brahma tasmad brahmani te sthitaha. Anyone want to give it a try? Maybe line by line? Anyone wants to try? Oh, okay, no worries. Ihaiva terjita sargo Yesham samye stitham manaha nirdosham hi samam brahma tasmad brahmani te sthitaha. Thank you, Prabhuji. So I'll be reading a word in Sanskrit. You guys can follow, and then again in English. So we learn the translation, what it means word for word. Iha, in this life. Eva, certainly. Tehi, by them. Jitaha, conquered. Sargaha, birth and death. Yesham, whose. Samye, in equanimity. Stitham, situated. Manaha, mind. Nirdosham, flawless. He, certainly. Samam, in equanimity. Brahma, like the Supreme. Tasmat, therefore. Brahmani, in the Supreme. They, Stitaha, are situated. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Sir Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Those whose minds are established in sameness and equanimity have already conquered the conditions of birth and death. They are flawless like Brahman, and thus they are already situated in Brahman. Purport. Equanimity of mind, as mentioned above, is a science of self-realization. Those who have actually attained to such a stage should be considered to have conquered material conditions, specifically birth and death. As long as one identifies with this body, he is considered a conditioned soul. But as soon as he is elevated to the stage of equanimity through realization of self, he is liberated from conditioned life. In other words, he is no longer subject to take birth in the material world, but can enter into the spiritual sky after his death. The Lord is flawless because he is without attraction or hatred. Similarly, when a living entity is without attraction or hatred, he also becomes flawless and eligible to enter into the spiritual sky. Such persons are to be considered already liberated, and their symptoms are described below. Now we'll quickly recite a little prayer to the previous gurus, acharyas, the people who have taught us how to really take up to this path of bhakti, so we can receive the blessings and speak something and hear something bona fide from this verse. Om Gyantimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanjakalpa Turubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Reading the purport again. Those whose minds are established in sameness and equanimity have already conquered the conditions of birth and death. They are flawless like Brahman, and thus they are already situated in Brahman. This is in chapter 5, verse number 19 of the Bhagavad Gita. So let's just take a look where exactly we've come from. So we take a look at, for example, verse 18, which is pretty famous. It talks about how a liberated soul sees everyone. It says, the humble sages, by virtue of true knowledge, see with equal vision a learned and gentle Brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog eater, which is outcast. This is how people who are liberated, or the liberated soul, this is how these people see. And now coming to verse 19, it speaks about how a liberated soul behaves, what attributes does he have. It talks about how he is established in sameness and equanimity. And this is generally right now in this verse stated because he is situated in Brahman. So generally these people are called Brahmavadis, or people who know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but they think that the Brahman aspect is actually much more higher. So they call Brahmavadis, and this is the kind of people that you generally associate with these people who are situated in Brahman. So the question would then appear, what does equanimity mean? Sameness and equanimity, like what context? What does it really mean? And one definition I got from Google Parampara, is when one's mind is calm, especially in intense moments of happiness and distress. So we always have our life fluctuating from happiness and distress. Therefore there's a verse, Matras Pashastu Kauntya Shitastu Sakudakadaha Agama Paina Nityas Tam Satikshvasas Paharata. How this happiness and distress always comes and goes like the summer and winter seasons, and they arise from sense perception. So if I to give you an example of such a person who has this equanimity, this quality of equanimity, there's a nice example given by Srila Prabhupada, and it's of a Chinese man. And this Chinese man, he has quite a few instances. So this story goes as this Chinese man has basically a son. He has quite a few horses that he's doing business with. He's training horses, and people can ride on them and they pay him, etc. So this is his type of business. So when this Chinese man has these horses, one day his son, because he was in training to train the horses, he left the gate accidentally open. So all these horses, they ran away. And so all the villagers, when they got to know about the news, they ran all the way to his house and said, "Oh my God, what a misfortune! Your business is finished. This has happened. You've been spending so much on these horses, but now it's all finished. What can you do? Big misfortune, big misfortune." And the Chinese man just looked at them like, whether it's good, whether it's bad, that's not in my control. Like, it's happened, it is what it is. Like, I don't know if it's good or bad. And a few days later, those horses came back with a few more wild horses. And because he's a trainer, he trains up these horses. So now the villagers came back to him. Oh wow, yes, what a fortunate situation. Look, you got more business, this, that. And again, the same. I don't know whether it's good, I don't know whether it's bad. It's all just from the sense perception. And so when his son was actually trying to train one of these wild horses, they do this thing where they put up their front two legs. So his son fell off and broke his leg. So again, all the villagers came, oh my God, what a misfortunate situation, this, that. And again, he's like, I don't know whether it's good, whether it's bad. And so what happened is that at that time, there was like a massive war China was going through. So China came to this village and was getting all the young people, all the young children, enrolling them into the army. But they said to this boy, your leg is broken. Instead of you being an asset, you'll be more of a liability. So you stay. We would rather not burden ourselves more. So then the villagers came back to him. Oh wow, look, you get such a fortune. And again, he was like, I don't know whether it's good, I don't know whether it's bad. So this is an example of a person who's equipoised, who has equanimity. And so this means whether it was extreme good or extreme bad, his mind was not disturbed. He was very, very stable in terms of what he knows. Is like, I don't really care if it's good or bad. The fact of the matter is, this is all coming from sense perception. So in the purport, it literally says, as long as one identifies with the body, he is considered a conditioned soul. So when we say I, me, mine, we look in the mirror, we look at our hair and, oh yeah, I don't have hair to do that, thankfully. But we look at our hair, we style it up like this, then we, make sure our tie is all good looking, and, oh wait, hold on, what's this? No, we're putting on makeup for women and Matajis, they put on makeup, let me make sure my hair's nice and straightened with a straightener, or curly, whatever fashion is there nowadays. And so, this is us actually thinking that we are the body. But you see in chapter 2, verse number 13, Krishna says to Arjuna, Dehinosmin yata dehe kaumaram yovanam jara tata dehantara praptir dhiras tatrana muhyati. That the living entity comes from one body and into another, the same way that we in this body go from boyhood to youth to old age. Actually, the scientists themselves say that every 7 years, every single cell in your body changes. So in one sense, from 7 years ago, you've actually basically got a new body. Even though it looks very, very similar, even though it's the same height, even though it's the same muscle structure, unless you've been working out or something like that. But the fact of the matter is, every single cell has changed, so actually it's a whole new body in one sense. So when we get to this understanding that actually a person who has passed away is doing nothing else but discarding his old garments, it's as good as discarding his old garments and wearing new ones. So similarly, if someone passes away, and this is basically what they're doing, it's called reincarnation, then there's no reason to lament. You just know that, okay, you're just going to a different place with a different set of parents, different set of identity. So a person who knows who he is does not identify himself with the body. So if that's a conditioned soul, then what does it mean by liberated soul? And over here it says, he who is on the stage of Brahman. But in the Sri Ishopanishad, in chapter 15, verse number 15, mantra 15 I think it's called. Mantra 15. It says, O my Lord, sustainer of all that lives, your real face is covered by a dazzling effulgence. And this is talking about the Brahman. Kindly remove that covering and exhibit yourself to your pure devotee. So even though we have this understanding of moksha, who over here knows what moksha is? Anyone? Moksha? Liberation, right? So basically it's like a bright white light that there's no suffering. And people think this is called happiness when you're out of suffering, but actually it's just at the stage of peace, which is not happiness. So there's suffering, and when you're out of suffering, you're at peace, but that doesn't mean you have happiness. but at the same time, you cannot have happiness without peace. So you need to go through peace to have happiness. So therefore, this prayer is made, that please remove this effulgence, this dazzling effulgence, because I want to see your pure, beautiful face. So we need the pulp of love smeared on our eyes. And therefore in the Brahma Samhita it says, Premanjana churita bhakti velochanena santa sadaiva hridayeshu velokayanti yam shama sundaram achintya guna swarupam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. How the pure devotees with the salve of the pulp of love are able to see the beautiful form of Shama Sundar, Krishna. And so when we take a look deeper, we understand that actually what is a real liberated person, what is the real self-realized person? He knows the jiva. And in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it says, Jivera swarupa hoy, Krishnera nitidas, Krishnera tatasta shakti, Veda Veda prakash. How actually the role or the real identity of this living entity, this soul, is actually a servant of Krishna. But when we're not serving Krishna, we're trying to serve our senses, we're trying to serve our stomach, our belly, we're trying to serve other means of sense gratification, and so it's nothing else but misplaced. So the same propensity, but different use. If I were to give you an example, it's like I have a knife. And if I give it to a person who's in jail, he would just go around stabbing people. But if I give it the same knife to a doctor, he would go and actually cut someone as well, but save someone's life. So using the same thing, but in different ways. And they're very, very extreme. So similarly, when we use this propensity to serve, but to serve our senses, to serve our belly, to serve our mind's constant nags that I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this. Therefore we cannot find ourselves really happy, because the mind actually has unlimited desires. So therefore, what we should generally do to actually be happy is to serve Krishna and his devotees, because that's our actual real constitutional position. So some examples of people who are actually self-realized. Now, who over here has seen the movie of Mahavatar Nasimha? Anyone over here? Yeah, okay, quite a few devotees, okay. So then you know that's a little bit viral, that's good. So Mahavatar Nasimha, you know when Prahlad Maharaj is on the edge of that cliff and he's about to be pushed by that demon, the demon asks him, are you not scared? What does he say? He says that, how can you kill me? You've been given an order to kill me, but how can you kill me if you know that actually I'm not the body, I'm just the soul, and the soul doesn't die. If when this body it gets shattered or dies or it rips apart or anything bad happens to the body and the soul has to leave, it'll just go into a new body. So there's no need to hesitate. And so the demon was thinking, if I can't kill you, then why do I even try? Then Prahlad Maharaj was like, no. Don't think of that. If you're given the order, actually go ahead and push me off the cliff. So do your duty. But actually understand that actually, I'm not this body, I'm the soul. And actually in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, a very, very similar pastime occurs where there's Haridas Thakur, and Haridas Thakur is being whipped in 22 marketplaces on the order of the Muslim ruler at that particular time. And so what happens is, it was so bad actually, Haridas Thakur being caned and whipped in these marketplaces. Gaur Govinda Swami explains, his flesh was coming out and you could see his bones. It was that bad. And he was crying. Haridas Thakur was crying. But he wasn't crying because it was hurting. He was crying because he was in ecstasy. He did not identify with the body. He was in bliss because while he was getting whipped and caned, he was actually chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And because he was chanting, and he had the full realization that I am actually the servant of Krishna. So he was in so much bliss, he was crying, full of ecstasy, pretty much unaware of what's going on with his body. But they were still dragging him through all these 22 marketplaces to try and show the other Muslims. Because Haridas Thakur, even though our Namacharya, he's the one who we're meant to be learning how to chant, he was actually born a Muslim. But he was still chanting Krishna's names. So to set an example of if another Muslim does such a thing, they put him in front of the marketplace, whipping him. And yes, there are some of the Muslims who did try and object. So stop, what are you doing? Why? But Haridas Thakur was totally unaffected, because he knew he was not the body. In the Brahma Jyotir, as described in the Sri Upanishad, there is no aspect of this Ananda. And Ananda means bliss, actually. That's what Ananda actually means. And in the Vedanta Sutra, it says, we are Anandamaya Bhyasyat. We are actually pleasure-seeking entities. This is what we do generally. That's why whenever we go anywhere, do anything, we do it for the background of pleasure. This is our route as to why we do what we do. We earn more money. Why do we earn more money? So we can have a more comfortable life. We don't have to suffer the hardships of maybe sleeping on the floor, or having very less to eat, or not wanting to choose what to eat. And we also can maybe drive around in much more nicer cars, so it's much more comfortable. Have nicer food, because this is how we're conditioned, that we can try and enjoy through the senses. So when we have the aspect of material interactions, there's something called padam vipadam nate sham, which means that at every step there's danger. You don't know when you're going to get ill. You don't know when your family's maybe... You don't know when. Jai Shishi Radha Gokulananda ki, Shishi Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki, Shishi Gaur Nitai ki, Nitai Gaur Premanandi Haribo. You don't know when maybe one of your mortgages, something's going to happen to one of your mortgages. Maybe the bank is going to say something, do something. Maybe your children, they can't go to school because of something happened. Like recently, in one of the cities like Leicester, there was a 50-year-old man arrested in London for starting a feud with different schools. So these children, they were actually going to fight 6 schools versus another 6 schools. They were going to fight with each other. Actually, this was orchestrated by a 50-year-old man in London. And the point system was, if you stab someone in the neck, you get 5 points. Now, this is the kind of mentality that of people that we're living with. On top of that, there's all these wars going on at the present moment. Then there was, before this, there was Ukraine, Russia. Before that, there was Israel, Palestine, or something like that. So there's always something or another going on. You don't know when something's going to happen. The president or prime minister of Iran, did he know that at that particular point of time he was going to have a drone or something like that crash into him and he was going to pass away? No. But this all happens because at every step there's always some level of danger. But yet we still want to try and live in this world and try and blank it all out and try and be happy and somehow try and just, no, it's okay, but I'm trying to do my own thing. But you don't know when it's going to come to you. So it doesn't make sense to try and blank it all out. That's just called ignorance. You need to understand, okay, so this is what condition I'm in, this is what situation I'm in. Now the question is, how do I get out? Say, for example, there's a burning house. You won't just say, okay, no, but it's okay, it's nice little heat, whatever. Just no, you'll try and get out. And even in different religious scriptures, it says very, very similar things. I was listening to His Holiness Radhanath Swami, and he was explaining how He was in the Himalayas before Krishna consciousness trying to find spirituality, and there was one Christian book given to him, and over there he said that it was a very, very actually very, very nice statement that was given by Jesus Christ himself. He says that this world is a bridge. Don't try and build a house upon this bridge. All it's meant to be done is just cross over the bridge. But over here, people are building palaces on the bridge, hoping that it will still stay. But this bridge, which is the material world, this world is just meant to be there just so that we can cross over it. We can go to a different place. And it's also dukhalayam ashashvatam. We're finding misery at different points. This is the material interactions, that's how it goes. Then we have this understanding of spiritual interactions. Anandam buddhi vardhanam. There's a lot of ananda. Before I said ananda maya bhyasyat, this is what we're doing. We're pleasure-seeking entities. And anandam buddhi vardhanam. This is this spiritual, this way of chanting, serving devotees, trying to give out the message of the Bhagavad Gita and trying to learn it yourself, trying to understand it, trying to imbibe it. This is very, very blissful, because this is actually our original state. So instead of going against the waves, against the river or the waves, you can say, we can go with it, which is actually what where we are, what we're meant to be doing. Susukham is described in 9 chapter verse number 2. This process is to be followed joyfully. Pratipadam purna amrit swadanam, that every step is full of nectar. Also in the Kena Upanishad, it is stated that the Supreme Brahman is the rest for everything. And Krishna explains the same in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7.7. Let me just read this out to you. 3, 6. O conqueror of wealth, there is no truth superior to me. Everything rests upon me as pearls are strung on a thread. This is what Krishna says. There's this aspect of Brahman, of the bright light, and this is one realization of the absolute knowledge of Krishna. So there's 3 levels of realization: Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Bhagavan, this actually means one who is full in 6 opulences. And these 6 opulences, I always forget one, so let's try and list them. There's the 6 opulences of Krishna that he has in full. That means even though people may have it in this world, it's because he's been giving it to us a little bit by little bit, but we can't have it in full. So that means all strength, all knowledge, all fame, all renunciation, all wealth, and I knew it, there's one more, and all beauty. Thank you. So he has all these 6 opulences in full. We may have some, a little bit. Like, for example, oh wow, I see this very, very beautiful girl. She looks very attractive. But it's nothing compared to Krishna. He's all attractive. That's what Krishna literally means. So similarly, we have, for example, I don't know who else is now the richest people, but I think Jeff Bezos is one of them. Or is it not still anymore? I don't know. Maybe Bill Gates still? I don't know. But these people who are rich, the other people who are famous, so we have this kind of aspects of fame, prosperity, wealth, strength, but they actually all come from the Supreme Lord himself. And so therefore, he's actually full in them. He's actually giving it to us a little bit by little bit. Krishna also says in chapter 10, verse number 8 of the Bhagavad Gita, Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pavartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitaha. Everything emanates from me. All the spiritual material worlds, everything comes from me. Everything. In the Bhagavatam, in the Srimad Bhagavatam and the Vedanta Sutra, it says Janmadiyasya yataha. Everything emanates from him. Everything. He is the ultimate source of everything. And Brahmaji, the Chaturmukhi Brahma who has 4 heads, anyone know him? Not personally, I'm saying, but like, you guys know of him, right? Yeah? So this Brahmaji, he himself says in the Brahma Samhita, Ishvaraha Paramaha Krishnaha Sachetananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam, the cause of all causes. And then after he says Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami and other verses. So this is just given just from a few scriptures, and just one of 2 verses from each, just explaining how Krishna is the supreme. So yes, we may have attraction to Brahman for the aspect of peace because we may be still at a sense of distress, but actually, even though we may still have an attraction, if we're following this process, we understand that it naturally comes, peace naturally comes, but we're still striving for more. Happiness still comes, but we're still striving for more. We're striving to be in our original propensity to serve Krishna. Lord Ram is Maryada Purushottama. He's the one who teaches us by his example how to be the best human being. Krishna is Purna Purushottama, means he has everything, but also mainly Leela Purushottama. He does his pastimes. So it's basically best not to try and copy Krishna. He had 16,108 wives. We can't really do the same. And I've heard, because I'm Brahmachari, it's hard to manage one wife, or to speak about 16,108. And also vice versa. So Matajis also find it hard to handle the husband as well. And then we have Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who's over here in this picture, and also over here, the one in the middle. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nahi Anya. He's actually Krishna himself and Srimati Radharani, both in one form. And so, when we understand this, we actually understand Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Prema Purushottama. Namo Maha Vadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishaya Namaha Prema Pradayate Krishna Prema Pradayate. He is the one who gives it indiscriminately. What? Krishna Prema. But the thing is, we already had Krishna Prema. We still have Krishna Prema. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhika Banoy Shravanadi Shuddha Chitte Kariya Udoy. But we can regain it through the cleansing of the heart, through hearing and chanting. So this is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu does. He gives Krishna Prema indiscriminately. No matter, as Haridas Thakur, if you were born in a Muslim family, as if you've done anything as bad as possible before, anyone can come back from whatever they've done before and take to this process of chanting. Take to this process of serving devotees. Take to this process of trying to imbibe this knowledge within themselves. And he gives this prema, Krishna prema, through the holy name. So if you chant the holy names in association of devotees, which means congregational chanting, then you'll find yourself just naturally come to the point of prema. Because this is our natural propensity to serve Krishna in this way. So what to speak about liberation, which is just one step of realization. We have this understanding of Bilvamangal Thakur, who's a beautiful devotee of Lord Krishna. He was blind in the eyes, etc. And he says how liberation awaits at the doorstep to serve him. But he's constantly rejecting this aspect of liberation because he knows there's higher. And this liberation is a very low thing compared to Krishna and being associated with Krishna and being a servant of Krishna. We're always serving actually. Why do we eat? We eat so the hand takes it to the mouth takes it to the belly then gives all the nutrients to again the hands, the legs, etc. Therefore, we walk to go get groceries. We go and work to then get some money so we can eat. So we're actually just trying to serve the senses, serve the belly, so then we can serve the senses. So service is always going on. But the question is, now that we have this human form of life, then we can think a little more deeper. Atato Brahma Jignasi. It basically talks about how this human form of life is given to us as so precious because we can actually question. You don't find monkeys, dogs, cats, rats, anyone asking, who am I? Where did I come from? Why am I in this form of life? No, you just see it doing its duty. Going, eating, sleeping, mating, defending. And so a lot of people nowadays who call themselves influencers, they just take one aspect of this eating, sleeping, mating, defending, or anything that associates with it, and they try and make it big. Oh, look, if you do this kind of exercise, then you can look good, and if you look good, then you can attract these people, etc. It's like, but this is what animals do anyways. If you want to look muscly, look at a gorilla. He's much more muscly than you. If you want to look good, then pretty sure there's animals and whatever that, don't put makeup on, but they like wash their face, they do different kind of stuff, so they can look good. The peacocks, they like spread their feathers. They look much more better than me. So then why would I try and go and like do other kind of stuff to try and look good? The fact of the matter is that we've got this human form of life because we have higher intelligence to question, to understand. So therefore, we can make the most of it through association of devotees, through chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And like I said, even though this verse talks about the aspect of Brahman, which is very, very high, actually, in a devotee's life, is not high comparatively to being the servant of Krishna. Now, we've got around 9 minutes left, and I'm going to open the stage up for questions. Anyone have any questions relating to this or anything else as well? It's fine. Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu, you spoke about serving Krishna and serving his devotees. Can you clarify a little bit about who, is it as black and white as everyone's a devotee, as everyone has Krishna in their heart? And is it sort of a range of degrees of being a devotee, or a neophyte devotee, an advanced devotee? And how does someone recognize who is a devotee and who is befitting of that service, the same way how you spoke about serving Krishna and devotee? How do you recognize as a person who's offering service who is a devotee that we should be serving?
So your question is, how do we identify who is and who is not a devotee, because our propensity is to serve Krishna and his devotees? So this actually, if you look a little more deep, it actually, you can expand on it. You can say even not only that who is a devotee, but also how do we serve them. That's also another point within this framework. So we understand that actually in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Chaitanya Mahaprabhu talks about 3 times in the same verse who is a devotee. First time he says anyone who chants Hare Krishna once, he's a devotee. But what it actually means is that he's a neophyte devotee. He's a person who's getting into Krishna consciousness. Number 2, someone who chants Hare Krishna constantly. Kirtanya Sada Hari. So this person is a Madhyamadikari. He's a person who is in the middle platform, who can chant Hare Krishna, and he finds so much bliss in doing so, he just chants it regularly, constantly. And this is actually very hard to do. Well, especially for me. And then the third type is one who by his association, other devotees, other people start chanting Hare Krishna. And that is the Uttam Adhikari, the highest. So there's these 3 levels of devotees, but it also depends on how you see who a devotee is. Because the question is, well, when a neophyte devotee is there, he'll mainly just focus on the Lord. And he'll be like, yes, the Lord. The Lord is the only thing, that's it. No devotees, nothing else. That's generally the vision of a person who's not too advanced in spiritual life, but is getting there. The Madhyama Adhikari, the person who's in the middle, he'll be like, no, no, no. The Lord is there 100%, He's the highest. But at the same time, I can discriminate who is new into spiritual life, who is in the middle, who is the higher ones, and therefore he actually guides the people who are new. He makes friends with the people who is the similar kind of platform as him, and the people who are high, he actually renders service unto them. And the Uttamadhikari, he sees everyone as a devotee except from himself. So he's on that very, very humble platform of like, oh my God, look, all these devotees, all these devotees. So we should actually act on our realization, but understand what the scriptures say. That actually everyone is already a devotee. Jivera swarupa hoy Krishna nitidas. Every single person is a devotee. And what it means to actually serve them doesn't mean to serve their senses. It means to bring them to the point, through their realization, to the point of understanding, oh my God, I am the servant of Krishna. The main reason why we find ourselves not happy in this world is because we want to try and lord it over nature or try and control. These people that you see that are very, very high up into different management places and this and that, they want to control. Now if you have that kind of job, if you have that kind of situation that you have to control, then do it as a sense of duty, but don't be attached to the aspect of controlling, because you're not the controller, you're the servant. Do it as a point, as a thing of service. I want to see this person grow. Therefore, does it answer your question? Yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah, I have one.
Hi.
Maybe a little controversial, but you said there are 3 different types of devotees.
Yeah.
But there was a story that I had that when even Kans, because he was so obsessed with Krishna and Krishna's name, he got moksha in the end. So it doesn't mean that if you reach the 3rd stage of devotion that you are the only person who can get moksha. Everybody, and at least that is what I understand from the message, that for whatever reason, and however little you may chant his name, as long as you do it, and you have him, like, you obsess with him or whatever you want to put that to, you still are the path of moksha. Is that true or not?
Very nice question. So you brought about how the aspect of Kans, or we can call Kans Mama. Yeah? So Kans Mama, he was always 24 hours thinking of Krishna. Oh my God, how am I going to kill him? How am I going to kill this child, But Prabhupada actually describes how he was actually unfavorably thinking of Krishna, and how we have to do it favorably. Because at the end of the day, he says, Antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram yaha prayati samadbhavam yati nasti atra samshayaha. At the time of death, whatever you think about, based on your desire, is what you're going to attain, that same nature. So yes, he was thinking about Krishna, but he was thinking about him unfavorably. So he did get the same nature as Krishna, which is Brahman, the Satchit Ananda.
He doesn't discriminate.
He doesn't discriminate in what sense?
And so he doesn't discriminate with the person who says it favorably or unfavorably.
Who doesn't discriminate, sorry?
Krishna doesn't. So he still gave Kans moksha.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Because Kans had a desire not to be the servant of Krishna, therefore he was not able to go to Goloka Vrindavan. He was not able to go and serve Krishna. The moksha is there, but it's not as high as going to Goloka Vrindavan and serving him personally over there. So therefore, yes, Kans did get moksha because he was killed by Krishna. Therefore, Krishna is actually known as all good. But the aspect was there that actually he did not have the desire to serve Krishna. He had the desire to kill him. So he still attained the same quality as Krishna, Satchit Ananda, which is his Brahman aspect. But that's nothing compared to actually Goloka Vrindavan. All the demons Krishna killed actually attained moksha. But if you take a look at Putna, for example, when she was breastfeeding Krishna, actually her love also came out a little bit. That little bit of milk came out, even though she didn't give birth. A little bit of milk came out because she was actually attracted to Krishna. And then Krishna killed her. So then she actually went to Goloka Vrindavan as a post of a mother to Krishna to serve him, because at the very last second she wanted to serve him. She had that attraction towards him. But Kamsa didn't. Therefore he actually went to moksha, as you said, liberation. But again, it's not as high because he didn't get exactly what he wanted. What he should have wanted was favorable attraction to Krishna, thinking about him 24 hours, which means, okay, 1 minute left, which means that you get to basically serve him. Okay, devotees, if you have any other questions, I'll be outside for 2 minutes. But there'll be Gaura Arti now, so Hare Krishna. Jai.
Is there anyone else? Wait. Shri Radha Gokulananda ki Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki Kiba Jaya Jaya Gaura Chande Arati Ka Shobha Janadita Tavane Jagamanalobha Janadita Tavane Jagamanalobha Dakhine Nitai Chan Bhami Gadadhara Dakhine Nitai Chan Bhami Gadadhara Nikate Advaita Shrini Vasa Chatradhara Chatradhara Boshi Ache Gaura Chande Ratna Simhasana Boshi Ache Gaura Chan Ratna Simhasane Arati Korena Brahma Adi Devagane Arati Korena Brahma Adi Devagane Nara Hari Adi Kori Chamara Dhulaya Sanjaya Mukunda Vasu Ghoshadigaya Sanjaya Mukunda Vasu Ghoshadigaya Shankha baje ghanta baje baje karatala Shankha baje ghanta baje baje karathala baje ghanta baje Madhura mridanga baje Paramarasala Madhura mridanga baje Paramarasala Shankha baje ghanta baje madhur 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 baje Shankha baje ghanta baje madhur 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 baje Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Bahu Koti Chandra Jini Vadana Ujwala Bahu Koti Chandra Jini Vadana Ujwala Gala Deshe Banamala Kore Jhala Mala Gala Deshe Banamala Kore Jhala Mala Shiva Shuka Narada Preme Gada Gada Shiva Shuka Narada Preme Gada Gada Bhakti Vinoda Dekhe Gaurara Sampada Bhakti Vinoda Dekhe Gaurara Sampada Gaurange Arati Kashobha Jagajana Manalobha Gaurange Arati Kashobha Jagajana Manalobha Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari